Hello and welcome to 2.2 Recaps. Today we're going to recap a 2017 movie titled American Made. In 1978, pilot Barry is bored during a flight. Since his co-pilot is asleep, Barry turns off the autopilot and makes the plane shake, waking up all the passengers. He quickly stabilizes the plane and pretends it was just turbulence. When Barry gets home from work, his wife Lucy is waiting for him in playful, seductive clothes, hoping to have fun. But Barry immediately falls asleep. One day, while Barry is taking a break at a bar between flights, he's approached by Monty, who knows Barry's secret. It turns out Barry has been smuggling cigars to make extra money. Monty, a CIA agent, finds Barry interesting because of his flying skills and achievements. He wants Barry to help the country. He takes Barry to a secret hangar and shows him an extremely fast aircraft. If Barry accepts the job, he'll be flying missions to conduct reconnaissance over Central America. The catch: he can't tell anyone about it, not even his wife. Barry doesn't like the idea of keeping secrets from Lucy, but he agrees anyway. Monty then lets Barry test the plane. Barry pulls off impressive tricks with perfect control, flying with a joy he hasn't felt in years. Later at home, Barry tells Lucy he's leaving the commercial airline to join a private company called Independent Aviation Consultants, a cover name Monty gave him. Lucy argues with him, thinking it's a scam and a big mistake. Barry wonders if she's right, but on his next commercial flight, he gets bored and simply walks away. Barry officially quits his regular job and starts running missions for Monty. During the Cold War, the Soviets were backing communist insurgents in Central America, and the CIA wanted pictures of their activities. Barry flies low to capture detailed photographs, often dodging gunfire from insurgents. Despite the danger, Barry loves the thrill, and Monty gets praised for the quality intel. One day, a bullet hits Barry's plane. He almost crashes but manages to regain control and fly to safety. Thanks to this new job, Barry spends more time at home and becomes more attentive to Lucy. Eventually they even have kids. However, Barry still hasn't told his family about his real job. He wears his old uniform whenever he comes home. Money also becomes an issue. He isn't being paid enough. Monty keeps complimenting him but refuses to give him a raise. Later, Barry receives a mission called Bagman. He has to exchange packages with Colonel Noriega in Panama. Soon after, while refueling in Colombia, Barry is suddenly taken to meet the infamous drug lord Pablo Escobar. Pablo quickly sees through Barry's cover story. He shows Barry his plantation and offers him big money to smuggle cocaine. Barry notices a crashed plane nearby. Other pilots died because the runway was too short. Pablo refuses to extend it, saying it would attract the army's attention. Offended by Pablo's challenge to his skills, Barry accepts the job. Barry suggests a safer delivery method. Instead of landing in Miami, he'll drop the product over Louisiana using a hatch in the plane. Pablo agrees. Barry teaches the workers how to properly package the cocaine so it survives the fall. When they try to overload the plane, Barry refuses, explaining weight limitations. Before takeoff, the workers place a guard in his cockpit, but Barry kicks him out. Instead, they give Barry a cross for protection, which he hangs on the dashboard. Pablo and his men even place bets on whether he'll survive. The overloaded plane struggles but eventually takes off. Barry kisses the cross in relief. As U.S. military radar detects him, Barry cleverly flies near oil platforms, making them mistake his plane for a helicopter. Once over Louisiana, he drops the packages for Pablo's men waiting on the ground. Later, Pablo pays Barry a bag full of cash and celebrates. But suddenly soldiers storm the house and open fire. Pablo and his men remain calm, but Barry panics. He grabs his money and tries to escape only to get arrested. Monty bails him out but tells him his house will be searched. Barry fears for his family and accepts Monty's new deal. He'll deliver weapons to Nicaraguan rebels. That night, Barry rushes home at 4 a.m. and wakes Lucy and the kids, urging them to pack before the police arrive. Confused, Lucy asks questions but Barry begs her to trust him. They escape just before the police raid. The CIA relocates them to Arkansas, giving Barry a house and his own airstrip. Lucy hates the rundown home and grows suspicious, but Barry is thrilled with the new setup. Monty shows him crates of weapons and a map to avoid army bases. Barry happily agrees to the mission. When Barry finally confesses to Lucy, she's furious. To calm her, Barry drops piles of cash at her feet, telling her she can buy anything for the family. Though worried, Lucy decides to stay. In 1981, Barry makes his first delivery, but locals steal his clothes instead of taking the guns. Monty explains the truth: Barry isn't supplying soldiers but arming civilians to fight. On his next trips, Barry brings extra gifts like magazines and alcohol to win people over. Soon Pablo approaches him again. Now armed with CIA flight maps, Barry agrees to smuggle for both sides. He develops a routine: deliver guns to Pablo, load cocaine in return, then drop it in Louisiana. Noriega in Panama provides protection and takes cocaine as payment. Barry makes so much money that he buries cash in the backyard and fills barns with it. He hires 4 men, nicknamed the Snowbirds, to help expand operations. His small town notices the sudden boom, but Barry hides it by creating fake businesses and hiring locals. By 1982, Barry owns new planes, cars, and a fully renovated house. Lucy enjoys the luxury life, attending Pablo's parties with Barry. The money becomes so overwhelming that Barry hides bags in barns and even underground. Lucy's brother JB comes to work for Barry but soon discovers the hidden cash. He spends recklessly, drawing attention. Eventually, the government detects suspicious wealth in Arkansas. When the Snowbirds are tracked by military jets, Barry barely escapes by crash landing in a neighborhood and fleeing on a stolen bicycle. Meanwhile, Pablo is forced out of Colombia and sets up in Nicaragua. JB gets arrested after flaunting money, and Barry tries to save him. But soon after, JB's car mysteriously explodes, killing him. Barry hides the body but realizes Pablo's people are responsible. The CIA eventually shuts down Barry's operation, abandoning him completely. Law enforcement raids his airstrip, and Barry gets arrested. However, to everyone's shock, he's suddenly released and flown to the White House. U.S. officials now want him as a double agent to gather evidence against Pablo. In 1984, Barry is given a plane with hidden cameras. Though worried, he continues working with Pablo while secretly photographing shipments. But the U.S. government carelessly airs these photos on national TV without blurring Barry's face. Pablo immediately realizes Barry is a traitor. Barry knows his days are numbered. He records videotapes telling his story while moving between motels each night. He warns bystanders whenever he starts his car, fearing it might explode. One night, while reporting for community service, Barry is ambushed and shot dead in his car. His murder is quickly covered up by federal agencies. The real Barry Seal was killed on February 19, 1986, at the age of 46. His story became a central piece of the Iran-Contra scandal. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss more amazing movie recaps from 2.2 Recaps.